Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with the pregame report between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. This is a Stanley Cup Final rematch, but will there be a lot of nasty bad blood between these two teams, or will this just be another middle of December regular season game, neither team having too much to prove to each other right now until the games maybe matter back, forward in April, May, and June? Let's discuss. There is a lot to discuss in this video. Of course, the narratives, the storylines, how the fans are feeling. So if you end up enjoying this pregame report, make sure to hit that like button. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel where we continue to build an incredible community. We're already building towards 4,300 subscribers, and I cannot wait until we get to the 5,000 subscriber mark. Likely giveaway for that. Big milestones on the way for the channel. The 2025 is going to be an incredible year, and I cannot wait to see where we go and what is in store. But in the meantime, there is a hockey game to play tonight. The Oilers are on Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey. They've played 2 Prime Monday games this season and lost both of them 3-0. So I think Oilers fans are a little hesitant to get too excited about this one because, yes, it is a Prime Monday game, and hopefully the team is not shut out. Speaking of shutouts, the Florida Panthers have also been shut out in their last 2 straight games. They got shut out by the Calgary Flames and the Vancouver Canucks in the first 2 of their 3-game Western Canada road swing. So this is a team that is due for some goals. This is a team that is going to come in here very frustrated and very much so focused on winning a game, scoring some goals, and feeling good about themselves as well. There's going to be a lot to talk about, honestly. And the number one thing is, how are we feeling as fans? As Oilers fans tuning into this video, Florida Panthers fans, how are you feeling about this game? Do you think that this is a game where Edmonton is going to go out and try and get revenge? Do you think this is a game where Florida is going to try and assert their dominance and let the Oilers know that they won the cup fair and square? There was no fluke, and a big win for Florida tonight would even cement that further. This is technically, if you want to look at it as like a game 8, you can. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in terms of where the Stanley Cup is or where it's going. This is a regular season game in December. For me as a fan, I know that I am still not even close to over that loss in June. The only thing that will allow me to feel be at peace with anything that's happened since that Cup Final run is if the Oilers manage to win a Stanley Cup in my lifetime with Connor McDavid, with Leon Draisaitl on this team. And for the Florida Panthers, of course, pretty similar in terms of the Edmonton Oilers. They've had inconsistent goaltending this year. Their offense, for the most part, has been there. They've dealt with a little bit of injury trouble. I know Barkov, he's been sick. I don't know if he's going to play tonight. That would be a huge loss for Florida if Barkov is not in the lineup. Kachuk missed a few games this season. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I look forward to it. I'm hoping that the Oilers come out and just absolutely pound the Florida Panthers. Just mentally, I will feel really good about that. So we'll see how the game goes. Let's get into the projected lineup, and then, of course, we'll get into the stats and my game day prediction. As always, make sure you let me know your game day prediction in the comments section below, and give me your players to watch as well. Projected lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't foresee any changes to this winning lineup. The Oilers have won 5 straight. They are 12-3-1 in their last 16 games. They have been one of the league's best teams since November 9th or November 7th. And there's no reason to change the lineup right now. First line, you're going to have Nugent Hopkins with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. And I know we've been talking a lot about Leon Draisaitl, but Connor McDavid has 8 assists in his last 5 games, and he's still producing really well. As he's just being overshadowed just a little bit by his line mate, or not line mate, but his teammate, Leon Draisaitl, who is centering that second line. He will likely be playing with Vasily Podkolzin and Kasperi Kapanen. Kapanen, of course, has gone on the score sheet a couple times. Podkolzin, he does so much good work along the boards and on the forecheck that it allows Draisaitl to play his game, and it opens up space for Draisaitl to be creative and manage the puck, decide when to shoot, and hopefully, if Draisaitl finds himself on a line with Janmark at any point, Janmark gives him the dang puck for a breakaway instead of Darnell Nurse having to find him in front of the net. That's still so funny to me, watching that Vegas game, how Janmark could have just given Draisaitl a breakaway and chose not to. I don't know why. I don't know how. Matthias Janmark is funny like that, though. Obviously, it was unintentional. If he knew Draisaitl was there and knew he could get a pass off, he absolutely would have tried it. Third line, we'll have Janmark with Adam Henrique and Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner, of course, starting to play much better. I was pretty hard on him after the first period in that Minnesota game, but since then, he's put together 5 really solid periods of hockey. When the Oilers gave up that third goal to Vegas shorthanded at the beginning of the third period in their last game, Jeff Skinner, only a minute later, was able to kind of put to rest the comeback that Vegas had going, allowed the team to settle in, and just shut things down for the rest of the game. Jeff Skinner, if he is continuing to be able to find some offense, find some goal scoring for this team, I have no doubt in my mind that you'll start to see him get a few more shifts with McDavid or Draisaitl. Right now, the team, their roles are set. The roles are set on this team. Everyone is kind of in a position where they are finding some form of success. The team itself is finding success, so I can't see too much line juggling going on. On the fourth line, we'll have Corey Perry with Derek Ryan and Connor Brown. Of course, Corey Perry scored his 6th goal of the season the other night. Connor Brown, he also scored, I believe, his 5th goal of the season. He is now up to 12 points on the year. And Connor Brown, he had his kid. His kid was in the stands in the Vegas game, so he scored a goal in front of his kid, which was super adorable. They had pictures of it on the Oilers Twitter. It was super, super cute, and I love it. I love Connor Brown, man. I've just grown to love this player so much. That fourth line in general, I've really grown to really enjoy. And I know Connor Brown likely deserves to play third line minutes, but again, it's about where your role currently is. Where are you fitting in the lineup, and is the team finding success? Connor Brown with Corey Perry right now, they seem to be working really well, and even Derek Ryan is playing much better hockey as of late, so we'll see if they're able to sustain that. On defense, you'll have Ekholm with Bouchard. Now, I still have a little star next to Bouchard because I still don't think he's 100%, but they do have, at least as of the recording of this video, Josh Brown is still up with the team in case he would have to dress in any way, shape, or form. And hopefully Matthias Ekholm is also doing okay. He took that bad cross-check from Jack Eichel. I talked about it extensively in the day after discussion yesterday with video evidence to kind of back up my argument as to why I did not like that hit and why Jack Eichel should have been given a suspension and a game misconduct. If you missed the day after discussion, I will leave a link to that in the description below for you. Second pair, you're going to have Nurse with Troy Stecher. Third pair, Kulak with Ty Emberson. Again, Nurse does get a lot of shifts with Brett Kulak, but he also gets a ton of shifts with Stecher, so I like to just keep the lefties on the left side and then the right-handers on the right side. So Darnell Nurse, of course, has been playing the best hockey of his entire career, and they're going to need him to be even better tonight if the Oilers want to have a chance of defeating the Florida Panthers. Florida is a good team. They are just incredible on the forecheck. They suffocate you, and Oilers fans, we are very familiar with how this team plays. We had to witness a 7-game series of it last June, and Edmonton, I think, under Chris Knobloch, they should be ready to go tonight. Stuart Skinner will get the start. Again, is this going to be a revenge game? Is this going to be a game where the emotions run high? Is it going to be like Vancouver's first match against Boston after they lost the cup in 2011, where there was over 100 penalty minutes, there was 5 fighting majors, Brad Marchand got suspended for low bridging Sammy Salo and just absolutely wrecking Salo's knees and back. I don't think so. I don't get the impression that the Oilers are that kind of team that is going to go out there and try and assert some kind of physical dominance over Florida, because they will lose that fight. They will lose that fight. However, I do expect this to be chippy. I do expect there to be rough stuff, and I do expect both teams' best players to be their best players and try and prove to each other as to why they deserved that cup. And for Florida, they don't have to prove anything. Their names, they're engraved on the Stanley Cup. They literally do not have to prove anything. They won the dang thing. So for Edmonton, this is a test for them. We'll see if they can pass it. When we look at the stats here, we'll start with the Florida Panthers, of course. They are 18-11-2. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. Their expected goals for percentage ranks 4th in the league, 54.39%. If you look over on the Oilers side, they are actually just slightly ahead of Edmonton in expected goals for. The Oilers are sitting at 53.95%, which ranks 5th in the league. Look how close the expected goals are at 5-on-5 for these two teams. The special teams, a little bit different. Power play for Florida, 26%, which ranks 7th. Power play for Edmonton ranks 14th at 22.4%, but the Oilers' power play has really been heating up, and it is helping them win hockey games right now. So if there are any power plays in this game, and I can't foresee too many, it seems like the Oilers, no matter when they play, and it doesn't matter who they play, not a lot of penalties are called in their games. There are hardly any penalties called against Edmonton or against the opponent. I think the Oilers rank pretty high in terms of penalty minutes against or penalties taken. They don't take a lot. They don't take a lot of penalties, but they also don't get a lot of power plays. Florida's penalty kill is pretty darn good, 81.3%, which ranks 10th. Edmonton's penalty kill ranks 26th, 73.2%. But after that horrific start to the season on the penalty kill, the Oilers have completely turned it around over the last month or so. Florida scores 3.42 goals per game, which ranks 6th best in the league. Edmonton scores 3.23 goals per game, which ranks 10th best. Edmonton's offense has really started to turn it around. They've scored 13 goals in the last 2 games. So we'll see if they are able to continue that. Florida, they've been shut out in 2 straight games. Florida is absolutely due for an offensive explosion. The Oilers are due for goal scoring to come down just a little bit. So we'll see what happens tonight. Florida gives up 3.19 goals against per game, which ranks 24th. The Edmonton Oilers are a top 10 team in goals against now. They give up 2.80 goals against per game, which ranks 8th. And for the Florida Panthers, Sergei Bobrovsky, just like Stuart Skinner, both fan bases are always on top of their goaltenders. And for sometimes good reasons, sometimes it's not entirely warranted. Sergei Bobrovsky, though, has played much better as of late. Bobrovsky for Florida has won 4 of his last 5 games. He has like a .930 save percentage in those 5 games. So he is starting to turn his game around. And so is Stuart Skinner for Edmonton, who I believe has won 6 of his last 7 starts. So for Stuart Skinner and Sergei Bobrovsky, I think they're going to have good games tonight. Corsi for percentage. The Florida Panthers rank 2nd, 54.45%. The Edmonton Oilers rank 3rd in Corsi for now. Florida is just ahead of Edmonton in the some of these advanced stats. Edmonton's Corsi for 54.15%, which ranks 3rd. And then the shots for percentage, Edmonton barely ahead of the Florida Panthers here, 55.20% to 54.21%. These teams are incredibly evenly matched. So my score prediction, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We're going to go 2-1 Oilers here, which would feel pretty good considering that was the score that Edmonton lost in Game 7 to Florida in regulation. My players to watch, I talked about them just a little bit earlier here. Sergei Bobrovsky for Florida, Stuart Skinner for Edmonton. Goaltending has been a big topic for both teams, for both fan bases, and for both of these goalies right now, they are really turning their games around. They have been playing incredible. I expect a bit of a goalie duel tonight at Rogers Place. Those are my 2 players to watch, and we'll also have to see if Barkov is in the lineup for the Panthers tonight. He has been dealing with flu-like illness, so hopefully he is in the lineup, and of course I'm saying that now, and watch Barkov put up a 5-point game now that I mentioned that, and I'm really nice to him, but I do like to see teams at their absolute best because it helps me analyze where the Oilers are. If the Oilers are going up against good teams with a lot of their best players not in the lineup and they end up beating these teams, it's tough to get a gauge of where Edmonton currently sits. So if Florida has their best lineup in and Edmonton is able to win, that makes me feel better about where Edmonton is sitting in the standings. At the end of the day, though, this game is worth 2 points on the board. It will not really have an effect long-term where the teams finish in the NHL standings, but this is going to be a good matchup. I cannot wait. I really hope that the Oilers put on a good show tonight, and I hope they win their first game on Prime Monday Night Hockey. They are 0-2 with 0 goals scored in those games. The Florida Panthers come into tonight shut out in 2 games in a row. Something has to give for both teams. Hopefully the Edmonton Oilers get a big win tonight. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button, and if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. At the end of the game, I will have a post-game reaction video up, usually within an hour and a half of the end of the game, so keep an eye out for that. And then tomorrow I will have a day after discussion. No matter what happens here, I'll get back in the day after discussion videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you tell someone that you love them for me. And of course, fight like a kid and fight like Ben. As always, we'll see you soon, Oil Country. Let's go Oilers.